Hey YouTubers, got another video review for you. Well, a few weeks ago you seen me tour the native watercraft facility and show you just how these kayaks are made, and it's a very interesting video, so make sure you check that video out. I'll link it to this one at the end. I went ahead and unwrapped the kayak, and the first thing that you want to do whenever you get a new kayak is, you want to protect the bottom of it. So it was a no-brainer for me. I was like, I've got to put something on the bottom of the keel, because that's the first place that's going to get damaged on a kayak. So anyways, I run the group Fishing Kayak Mods on Facebook. If you're not a member of it, check it out. I've got almost 50,000 members in the group, and I also run a group on Facebook called Kayak Trailer Mods, and I've got about 13,000 members in it. And so through the years, I've seen people use all different types of ways to protect the keel on different kayaks, from Gorilla Tape to Kydex, to different modifications that people have come up through the years. Those just to name a few. But one of the guys in my group, his name's Mike KEEL, he was advertising that he sold this keel protector called Keel Armor. And so that's what we're doing today. So before I even get the boat fully unwrapped, I'm going to go ahead and put the keel armor on it. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the boat over and show you just how to install it and just see, does this work? And so first things first, I went ahead and unboxed the keel armor, and I've got it sitting out here on the table. You can see that Mike sent it to me just in a USPS box. There we go. And you can see he sent me some stickers, and then you can see the keel armor in there, and it's rolled up and zip tied in the bag right there. Nothing fancy, but hey, if it works, it works. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the kayak over, so bear with me just a second. Now before I go ahead and flip the kayak over, I'll go ahead and tell you, if you've got one of these big fishing kayaks like the Titan or a Hobie, Pro Angler or something like that, you might want to go ahead before you put any accessories on it, just go ahead and flip it over now, because once you install all the accessories and the seat, these things are several hundred pounds. And I think this one here is probably about 150 pounds, I believe. I know it's not light when you go to pick it up. But anyways, before I put anything on it, I'm just going to go ahead and flip it over, make it easy on myself. And I've got it sitting right here on these suspends stands. The kayak's almost too big for it. You can see right there in the back, it's touching on that side of the stand, and it's sitting on top of the side of that stand. So actually it is too big for the stands, even though it still holds them. All right, well, I went ahead and flipped this thing over, and I gotta tell you, trying to do this with one person is it's kind of tough. This thing is a beast now. It's not that it's just so heavy that you can't pick it up. It's more that it's just so awkward that it just makes it a handful. So anyways, here on the Native Titans, the front part of the keel is not is shaped like some of the other keels on some of the other kayaks that goes further back. You can see right here that there's a little bit here in the front, and then right in here it's kind of splits off two different ways, and then it kind of dips down. And so the middle of the boat there is kind of recessed all the way to the back until you get right here where the part sticks up to protect the rudder. And so the cool thing about the keel armor is they give you a piece for the front, and then they give you a piece for the back as well to protect it right in here, because those are the two lowest spots on the kayak. First things first, I'm gonna go ahead and take and set the keel armor out here out back. Just got it sitting here on this block wall, just letting it heat up. It's about 81 degrees here in Tennessee, so I'm gonna give it a few minutes and let it heat up and really get nice and pliable. You can see that it's pretty soft as it is, but as it heats up a little bit more, it'll be able to follow those contours of the kayak a little bit better. Plus it's going to heat that adhesive up and make it a little bit more sticky, so once I pull that tape off. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and clean the area with denatured alcohol, and this is what I'm talking about. I picked this stuff up at Walmart. It's like less than 10 bucks, but you know, I've never used this stuff before, but I assume it's very similar to maybe a rubbing alcohol or an acetone. It's just pretty much just a cleaner. But anyways, we're gonna wipe the front of the boat down and the rear of the boat and make sure there's no gouges or anything. This is a new kayak, so hopefully there's not going to be any gouges, but if there is, you can always take a little razor blade and just kind of cut them off real flush with the kayak. And then it says in the directions to use like a Scotch-Brite pad, you know, if you've got a new kayak, just to scuff it. And so when I do the installation on here, this is just going to be for the new installation on a new kayak. If you have an older kayak, there's a few more steps on prepping it and maybe doing a little sanding and all that. But since this one's new, I'm going to show you how to do it just on the new one. So the first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to rub it down with the denatured alcohol. And you know, I've done auto body work for years, and they always tell you before you start sanding on anything, wipe it down with lacquer thinner to keep from sanding oil and contaminants down into the metal, but in this case plastic. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and apply that same procedure to the plastic here and go ahead and wipe it down first. So whenever I take and use a Scotch-Brite pad or a little sandpaper to smooth out, there's a little rough area right in here. That way I'm not sanding in to the plastic oils and things like that off my fingers and on the surface of the kayak. So that's why I went ahead and rubbed it down first where that denatured alcohol. And I went ahead and took a razor blade and laid it kind of flat and tried to scrape off some of the area right there where it was a little bit boogered up. And it pretty much did a good job. It laid it down pretty flat. But I'm going to take a little bit of Scotch-Brite, maybe even a piece of sandpaper, and try to get it smoother. Now you want to keep your razor blade kind of flat so you don't gouge it. You don't want to dig a hole in there and make a gouge in the plastic. So, you know, just kind of keep the razor blade flat, and you can see that it takes off the little plastic. But if you do like I said here and just keep it flat, it'll smooth itself out, and feels pretty good now. So now I'm going to go on to the next step, and that is to use just a little Scotch-Brite pad. Now, if you've got a new kayak like this one, they recommend using a Scotch-Brite pad. If you've got a kayak that's got some rough areas, you could use 100 grit sandpaper. But, you know, since this one's not real bad, I'm just going to use the Scotch-Brite and I'm going to scuff it up. Alright, so you guys seen me take the Scotch-Brite pad and scuff the edge of it. Now I'm going to go back over it again with the denatured alcohol, and I'm just going to go ahead and clean it real good. And I'm going to clean the back as well whenever I get back there to it. I'm just trying to show you guys real quick. But then next, what you want to do is they give you a bag of primer. It says Primer 94 on there. And what this is pretty much just an adhesive promoter to make the adhesive on the KEEL armor stick real good to this plastic. So what you want to do is just take and break one of these, and you'll hear it break. There's a glass in the inside, and you just shake it up, and you can see the liquid start coming down to the tip. And then you just want to start rubbing it on there, right there on the spot where you want it to stick. And this ain't rocket science by no stretch. And it doesn't matter if you get this a little off to the side, you know, it's not going to make that big a difference. And you can feel the surface start getting a little tacky, and they'll start drying up. So you want to go ahead and use your second one. Just break it and shake it. And I would say use 2 here on the front, and then save the last one for the back there. And that one's all dried up. All right, I went ahead and waited a few minutes and let that adhesion promoter dry. And then I went ahead and picked up the KEEL armor that had been sitting in the sun. And you can read here on the back, Mike has it labeled. It says towards drive on this end. And then he's got it labeled Native Titan 12 there in the middle. And then this end is labeled to bow. And so you'll definitely want this end pointing to the front of the kayak. And, you know, he gives you enough to where, you know, you can cover all the way to the very end right there. And you'll have plenty enough material. So what you want to do is just start off by peeling the backing away right there. And then go ahead and get it lined up where you want it. And you can see right in there. And you guys can see right in there, I got a little off. I should have worried about getting it a little bit more straight. But for the most part, it's right there where it needs to be. So I'm going to start working on it and just start rubbing it down. And I'll go ahead and tell you, you can feel as soon as it touches, it's stuck. I mean, if it's got a good bond to it. Now, I will say on the Native Titan that it's real pointy here on the front. And you're really going to have to work it down to get it to adhere to both sides of the curve. You know, because it's real sharp. So it's wanting to pull over this way and it's wanting to pull back this way. So just make sure you work it around. And I like how that it comes up a little higher right in here on this flat spot, so that way there's no chance of it really being able to pick itself and start coming off from the back. And then it's so high up on the keel here in the front that there's really going to be nothing to pick it and get up underneath that edge to raise it up. It should last on here a pretty good while. You know, I don't expect this stuff to last the whole lifetime of the kayak. I figured maybe it might last a year or two. And if that's the case, then, you know, I'm happy. I'm going to go ahead and just keep rubbing it in and trying to get it pressed down. And you can use masking tape if you're wanting to get it perfect and get it right in the very middle, and make sure it's perfectly straight, yeah, you can use masking tape and lay it all out where you want it, and make sure it's absolutely perfect. But for me, I'm just like, it's on the bottom. As long as it protects the keel, I'm cool with it being a little bit off. It feels like it's bonded on there really good. I don't want to try to pick this thing up. I seen one of Mike's videos where he picked the whole kayak up off the sawhorse, but as heavy as this kayak is, I don't know that I want to risk it. I'll let you guys know how this turns out. I gotta say, it does look better than Gorilla Tape. I've been down that route before. So got that all pushed down. I'm gonna go ahead and get to the back and get it installed. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I went ahead and cleaned the back here with the denatured alcohol. Went ahead and got the adhesion promoter. Start up here on the top. But then I wanted to show you the piece of keel armor while that adhesion promoter is drying. And it doesn't take long, just a few minutes. But you can see right here where Mike has it labeled Native Titan 12. And then it says right here, this is the rudder side. And then right there it says towards bow. So you want to have it facing just like this. All right, so here we go. I'll go ahead and peel the backing off of it. You can see this is 3M adhesive tape. And I'm just gonna place it right in there. And I'm just going to work it from the end all the way down. And I will say that this area right here is a little bit wider than the bow of the kayak, so it's a little wider and it's a little flatter. So this rear piece, it has a lot more room to lay flat on than the front does. So this one's a lot easier to get pushed down and for it to just to lay flat. And again, you can see how it goes down into this little recessed area, so that way if you go across a log or something, that log don't hit it and pick it up and it ends up peeling off. I like how they've went down a little bit further, and it's just added protection, because if you go across a log or something, it's going to hit probably about right in here, and then it's gonna drag on this lower part right in there. So now I'm just gonna take and just let it cure, let that adhesive do its work. I'm gonna leave the kayak turned upside down in the sun, and just it's a nice sunny day out here. I'm just up underneath a little canopy area in the shade, so I don't have to work out in the sun. But I'm just gonna let the heat work into that adhesive and make it get all sticky and just do its job. All right, so I just wanted to show you guys how it turned out. I think it turned out really good. And so you can see right in there that it comes all the way back right before it gets to the rudder. And you can see that the keel armor is tapered down a little bit. I don't know if he shaves that off or cuts it or just whatever he does, but it's tapered down so that way, it's not gonna pick. And right in here it does the same thing. He's got it cut to where it's like at an angle. And I gotta say, this stuff is stuck on there good. I mean, I tried to pick it up, and you can't really grab a hold of it and pull on this kayak because it's so heavy, but you can tell that this stuff's latched on there, and it seems really solid. So far so good. Now it says to wait like 48 hours before you put your kayak in the water or whatever, but I'm not in no hurry. I'm gonna take my time and let it cure for a few more days, and just keep working it down. Over the next couple days I'll just keep coming out here and pressing on it and trying to work it around that curved part here in the front, and it seems to be on there, stuck on there really strong. So I'm excited to try it out. By the time you guys watch this video, I should probably already have it in the water at least once, and I'll let you guys know how it holds up. And so, you know, just shoot me a message and I'll let you know if it's doing good or not. So appreciate you watching. Make sure you check out my groups on Facebook, Fishing Kayak Mods and Kayak Trailer Mods, and make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a good one, guys.